Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our coverage of the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. And I've titled the video today, Ethiopia, the Fall of a Failed State. And why would I call it that? Well, as we know, right now, there is a multi-ethnic civil war taking place. Right now, the centralized government, or what some would call the centralized government located in Addis Ababa, also known as Fenfene, is continuing to struggle against the forces of the Oromo Liberation Army. Obviously, over the last 4 to 5 weeks, there has been an ongoing Abiy loyalist offensive against the Oromo Liberation Army. And that offensive was designed to reduce OLA presence to the west of and northwest of Addis Ababa, the capital. And however, that operation has been relatively unsuccessful. The Abiy loyalist formations were unable to break the siege of Ambo, located in this area just to the west, and the Oromo Liberation Army continues to grow and continues to control many areas to both to the west and southeast of the capital in the south of the country as well, along the Kenyan Ethiopian border. Now, at the same time, we are looking at the very real possibility that a major offensive by the Tigrayan Defense Forces could be in the early stages as we speak. And if this were to escalate, and if the Tigrayan Defense Forces were to move back into the Amhara region, would elements of the ENDF, given its difficulties right now with the Oromo Liberation Army, what would it be able to do against the Tigrayan Defense Forces at this point? And I believe very quickly you could start to see what some would know as the ENDF start to dissolve and break down. We're already seeing it start to dissolve and break down in some of these engagements against the Oromo Liberation Army. So at a certain point, you could start to see the centralized government, the forces that are loyal to Abiy Ahmed, really start to dissolve, break down, find other allegiances. Obviously, you would have a very large component of those forces that are allied with Abiy Ahmed, quite possibly move over and join the ranks of its Amharan brethren further to the north, thus seeing more of a Amharan, Oromo-centric civil war. At the same time, you would see the Tigrayan Defense Forces in all probability make relatively rapid advances outside of the direct support of the Eritrean army to the west and western Tigray. And that is a distinct possibility that the Eritrean army could intervene, especially in western Tigray. Obviously, the despotic state of Eritrea still wants to hold on to some sort of small victory in its invasion of the Tigray region. If it loses its hold, especially in Humera and areas in western Tigray, northwestern Tigray, that conflict for the Eritrean state would have been all for naught. But at the same time, if Eritrea intervenes, it really risks a overall escalation and quite possibly some sort of generalized offensive, which could mean the downfall of the Isaias Afwerki regime if we start to see things really kind of fall apart further to the south, which is very likely at this point, given the stresses that are being applied to the Abiy loyalist military based in Addis Ababa, just with the Oromo Liberation Army, in dealing with the Oromo Liberation Army, or its lack of ability to deal with the Oromo Liberation Army, and any kind of ongoing massive offensive by the Tigrayan Defense Forces could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak. And very, very likely at this point, in terms of the possibility that a new operation by the TDF is underway. Will it extend into other areas outside of Western Tigray? We'll have to wait and see. But again, the likelihood that some areas of what was known as Ethiopia could very rapidly start to take on the form of a failed state in this ongoing conflict if it does escalate, especially with a major offensive by the Tigrayan Defense Forces, and which would be that proverbial tipping point, especially with the difficulties the ENDF, the B loyalists are having in engaging the Oromo Liberation Army right now. So to be continued as we observe and watch what is happening very, very closely. And of course, as we get information, we will bring it directly to you. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.